And do you feel happy?
I haven't got another diet left in me. I just couldn't do it to myself ever again. The other most important thing is I want to be a healthy role model for my daughter. I'm so pleased that I've cleaned up my act for her, really.
So the Spice Girls have become this worldwide phenomenon, but beneath the happy facade, things were going badly wrong. In the summer of 1998, the Spice Girls had launched their biggest world tour to date.
As time went on, Geri's power was slightly taken away from her. It was diminishing. Other people were coming through the ranks within the band. I don't think she felt comfortable with that, and certainly she was getting depressed.
I think I recall her saying now, like, the Spice Girls had become a monster that was spinning out of control as such, and she had no control on that.
Today is Thursday the 28th of May. I'm in Paris, and yesterday I left the Spice Girls.
Geri turned up at my door 2-3 o'clock one morning in tears, let her in, and she's saying it's all over, I need to leave the country, I need to get out of here, I need to get away.
It was very difficult, and I didn't know she was going, and I was a bit like, oh.
We'd made a pact, me and her, that if she wanted to leave she'd tell me, or if I wanted to leave I'd tell her, and she just left, like all of a sudden just vanished. It was really, really upsetting for me.
This is a message to the fans.
Geri offered no explanation for her departure, and what she was going to do next was unclear, but she did say she would be back.
I thought she was making a mistake. They were her best friends, they were so close, and I didn't know how she was going to cope on her own, to be honest.
At that point in her life where I think she was a little bit kind of confused and lacking direction and not really knowing what she wanted to do, it must have been very hard to sort of see this continuing success story going on.
But help was at hand from her old friend George Michael, who, having left Wham at the height of their fame, knew exactly what she was going through.
George rang her up and said, well, we had a house in Saint-Tropez, and he said, why don't you come stay with us? I encouraged her to not be Ginger Spice, so I'm like, we're going to get you some normal clothes. George probably helped her more with, you know, her career.
In 1999, after just over a year out of the limelight, Geri made a typically show-stealing comeback performance for an old friend.
Happy birthday to you.
So, let's clarify this once and for all. Why did you leave the Spice Girls?
Dun, dun, dun. Looking back in hindsight, I was always labelled the leader, and also I think at the beginning I was very strong, and they needed a stronger member at the beginning because the other girls were younger and they appreciated my strength. But naturally, as we became more famous, that's going to change. The others are finding their confidence and their own voice, quite rightly too. And so that dynamic's going to change. That was very hard to adjust to. And it was so big at one point, I felt it was almost irrelevant to us. It just felt like we were 5 cartoon cutouts. We could be anyone standing there. I felt like the job was done. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't really needed anymore. And there was definitely friction the way the relationship between Mel Inley and I. She knows that. And I found it increasingly difficult. And amalgamation of that and being tired, I kind of threw in the towel. I said, okay, I give up. You know, maybe the balance of this band, you know, I don't fit in anymore.
Mel said you had a pact which you went back on.
I don't remember that
Quite
pact.
Emotional saying that,
yeah,
as if you let her down.
I think I was just, you know, it was very emotional. I was very cross. I was asked to do an interview for breast cancer care. And they had asked me because I'd had a scare a long time ago. And I was like, fantastic. And sometimes I just wanted to show up as a single, you know, just myself. And for some reason, it got stopped. They said, we all want to do it, or, you know, well, you're not doing it. And I was just like, do you know what? I haven't come this far in the game to do something, you know, to be told not to do that. And so it was just like, that was the defining moment.
I mean, who was the last conversation with a
I was
band
on a
member you
plane.
had?
We were on this tiny private jet flying into London to come into the lottery, and I just went, bye girls. And so I was just like, maybe you're going to be happier without me.
And was that mainly you and Mel B, do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Because you're both very strong personalities.
Yeah, and so actually...
And she just got fed up with you being the boss.
And, you know, so fair enough.
So you said, bye girls. Did they know you were going then? Did you say, I'm leaving?
I didn't say I was leaving. I just said, I'm not coming. The next day I said, I'm not coming back.
How did they react?
Do you know who I absolutely loved the reaction the best was Victoria, because she rang me and went, like a proper good sister would.
What did she say?
Whatever. She properly got on the phone and tried to pull me back in.
How long before you spoke to Mel B again?
Actually, first of all, I launched into my solo career. There was a lot of ego in there. It was like, right, you don't need me, well, F you, I'm going to do it for myself.
And you were actually very successful, weren't you? You had #1 hits, and that must have wound up Mel even more.
There was definitely an FU in there, if I'm honest. Absolutely. And then, but slowly, as time went on, I actually probably was the one that stayed in contact with them all. I went round to see them and would write them letters.
So when did you first see Mel B again and talk to her?
I can't remember, but I wrote letters. I think I drove up to her house and just talked it through. I wanted to go around and kind of make amends and say, you know, I'm sorry for my part.
Who said sorry first?
I don't think she's ever said sorry.
Really?
No.
She doesn't think she ever did anything wrong?
No. That's okay.
Would you like it if she finally took some on the chin?
No, it's fine. No, we were just young. There's nothing to say sorry for. We were just young.
But you did say sorry.
I did, and I'm sorry now.
Tell me about Henry.
I was quite instantly attracted to him.
I mean, who do you spend more time cuddling, the dogs or him? You sold 12 million records as a solo artist. Mel C was second with 10 million, Mel B third, Emma fourth, Posh last.
Okay.
What do you think of that?
I didn't realise it was that, to be honest. I didn't realise I'd sold the most.
And you want me to honestly believe that this is the first time you realised you'd sold more solo records than
In that numbers, I did not know.
Did you know you'd sort of sold more?
I knew I had more #1s than everybody else. Okay. Did I sound smart? I just sound smart.
In 2005, you decided to put your solo career on the back burner, and something much more important came along in your life.